The open road leads to many paths, but also bears witness to countless horrors. Such is the case for truckers, who have seen more than their fair share. So get comfortable and let the darkness take control. As a man that has of my head, he could have stuffed me in that box, and there was nothing I could have done to stop him. Or shit, maybe someone was in there already. He said he still had nightmares about it years later, and after some research, I suspect it was the notorious serial killer, Keith Jesperson. My mother is a trucker, and this is her story. She was driving through Arizona when she saw what she thought were leaves blowing across the road in the distance. This puzzled her, since there's mostly pine trees in northern Arizona. When she finally got to the leaves, she realized that they were migrating tarantulas. Thousands of them. There were so many of them that her truck was sliding on their guts, so she had to slow down. She stopped at the first truck stop and told her co-driver to fuel up, as he was sleeping at the time, because she was not going to step foot outside after what she'd just seen. Her co-driver was pissed, since it was technically his time off, and he thought she was going crazy, until he saw the tarantula guts and legs caked in the inside wheel of the truck. She also outran a tornado in the Midwest. She was about to pull over and take cover until she saw another big rig that was parked on the side of the road get tossed a couple of 100 yards away like a toy. She called me and told me that she thought she was going to die and wanted her last words to be "I love you" to me. She pulled off the freeway and got to a Walmart where she ran into the basement where all the staff and customers were taking shelter. After the tornado passed, they stepped out of the basement into daylight, since the Walmart was destroyed. My dad drives in Texas a lot, but there is a particular road he always avoids. I'm not sure which road it is, but he says it's in the middle of old Native American land. On a cloudless night, he was driving through. He kept seeing shadows run along the side of his trailer. Every once in a while, he would hear a loud bang, as if someone was slapping the side of the trailer. After a while, he was getting tired of it. It could have possibly been something that demanded his attention. So he decided to stop and see if perhaps a tire had blown, because that was probably the most likely thing that could be making the noise. He opened the door and stepped out. He did his usual walk around, checking the tires, but as he turned the corner, he heard a laugh, and a shadow took off running down the road. Needless to say, he shit his pants and jumped into the truck. He was driving like a maniac, and about 15 miles later, he saw the skinwalker standing on the side of the road with its arms crossed. He didn't stop until daylight. My dad was a trucker for years before a work injury grounded him. He came home white as a sheet one day and wouldn't talk for 2 days. When he did, he told us that a lady had ran a red light and tried to speed underneath his trailer. This was shortly after the Fast and Furious movie came out, and the resulting wreck turned the car into a convertible and decapitated the woman. The side of his trailer was a Rorschach of blood and grey matter, and it took my dad 2 months of therapy to get back in his rig, and even though the insurance company said it was fixable, he scrapped the trailer and started pulling trailers for a big company instead of his own. I just wish that some people would be more careful on the road. My uncle was a long-haul truck driver back in the 90s. Mainly did international runs from Canada down to the US and then back to Canada. He had a pretty nice new Kenworth that had one of those maximum size sleepers on it, a built-in toilet and the works. He decided that the small tank that came with the toilet was a pain in the ass to have to empty so frequently. So he converted half of his passenger side diesel tank into a septic tank. A few weeks after converting his tank, he happened to pull into a truck stop somewhere in the United States and parked for the night after driving longer than he should have. He woke up at 5 AM with the dawn just starting to get bright. He climbed out to see beside his truck something that would make him laugh every time he tells this story. On the ground on the right-hand side of the truck was a 5-gallon jerry can, a siphon hose with one end in his tank and the other laying on the ground. Puddle of puke and some puke footprints. Another few feet away, puddle of puke. Another few feet away, another pile of puke. Some dumb son of a bitch tried to siphon his septic tank in the middle of the night. Hey guys, it's Mort here, and thank you so much for listening. I've been hearing what you guys have been requesting in the comments section, which is why tomorrow I've got a big paranormal video lined up for you, with some all new, never before heard stories. It's gonna be big, and not to be missed. It would mean the world to me if you would show this video a little love by leaving a like and dropping a comment, as it goes a long way. And why not consider sharing the video with a friend or someone who you think will enjoy it. Just a reminder that you can see my new merchandise, which can be found in the description, along with the links to my social media, as well as my Patreon if you are feeling extra generous. If you would like me to read your story on my channel, feel free to send it to my email or share it to my Reddit, which is of course in the description. Please make sure to include as much punctuation and descriptive language as possible to maximize your chances of it being read. But anyway, for now guys, I'm going to sign off. Stay awesome, and I'll see you in the next one.